Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Sunday. I wanted to hop in here. I'm actually in the middle of doing my Sunday planning session, and I wanted to build upon some things that I know we've all been talking about for a while around how to get ahead of your week. And specifically, I want to talk to you guys about a little productivity hack that has to do with task stacking. And so I think I've posted last weekend, I posted on Sunday a video from The Rock, and he's so awesome, and I totally agree with him. So when you think about wanting to achieve or wanting to be successful and really pull ahead of the curve or get ahead of your competition, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of work on Sunday. So you guys know I'm always going to be a proponent of taking time to rest and get your creative juices flowing. Make sure that you're well balanced, but at the same time, a little bit of work on Sunday can really move you ahead of the pack for the rest of the week. So I almost always spend, probably an hour on Sundays just making sure that I'm prepped for my week. And so the first thing that I do, and I've talked about this before, is I mentally look at the week that I have in front of me. So I pull out my calendar and I just make sure that it's realistic and that it's livable, because I think we all have an opportunity to make sure we're not beating ourselves up. So you want to make sure it's livable. But then I actually go through each of those line items on my calendar, even if I've outlined family time, right? Or time for my workouts or what have you. I always go through there and I look at each individual item on my calendar and I think to myself, what do I want to get out of that individual time on this calendar? How can I be the most intentional with that time? How can I bring my best self into that conversation? And what does someone need from me and how can I show up? So just mentally looking at the week in advance can be huge, because a lot of the mental work as you're living your calendar is pretty much done. So when Monday morning comes, you can kind of just hit the ground running and get it all done because you've already done the mental work in advance. So that's number one. Number two, and this is the real reason. Hi, you guys. Hi, Liz. Hi, Cindy. I see you guys. Thank you for hopping on. I love task stacking. So a lot of us might do this already, kind of unintentionally or subconsciously. But if you can learn to do this consciously, it can really change the game for you. Whether you are in career, whether you are stay-at-home mom, whatever you are doing, it can be super helpful to task stack. And by task stacking, this is what I mean. So like if you're looking at your day tomorrow and you've got like housework on your calendar, you have run the kids to wherever, you have flipped the laundry, you have a couple of business calls, you have check email, all these different things and all these different hats that we wear as human beings on a daily basis, it can be extraordinarily productive to task stack them. So an example of this would be if you're going to sit down and you're going to check email, time blocking, email checking on your calendar, maybe 3 times throughout the day, instead of let me flip the laundry and then check email, right? It's okay, this is my section of time in order to get email checked, and then I put that down. Now, say like in my world, if I'm gonna have a coaching conversation with someone, I like to say I have 3 coaching calls tomorrow. I like to stack all 3 of them right in a row because I get so much better and more productive if my brain isn't trying to flip back and forth between like email and coaching call and then let me go flip the laundry, if that makes sense. So if you've got housework, right? I always say like you want to stack all that together. So if it's like dishes, laundry, clean the toilets, let's just say, get all of that done like right in a row, and then take a little breather, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, then sit down and then task stack email, and then sit down and task stack client conversations or whatever that may be for you. And you will find that you get yourself into this state of what we call peak flow. And that's where you're operating like at your highest productivity level and also with the most joy and intention, because it feeds itself and your brain and your body isn't confused around what are you trying to do or what are you trying to get done. So my phone's being silly. So in summary, think about getting ahead of your week on Sunday to inch yourself ahead of the crowd and set yourself up for success. So that can look like sitting down and really evaluating your calendar and look at task stacking. So where are you kind of all over the place like a ping pong ball, knowing that you really want to be task stacking and super conscientious about when you're doing things and why. And then third of all, looking at your calendar and making sure that it's livable and maybe even jotting down next to it, or if you use Outlook or what have you, or Google Calendar, you type in there really what's your intention for the conversation, what do you want to get out of that time together, and then even prayerfully look at your week and say, okay, how do I mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually prepare for what I have coming up? So love you guys. I hope you have the most beautiful, wonderful Sunday, and go get some task stacking done and then let me know how productive and how flow-like you feel. Love you. Happy Sunday. Bye.